Yeah, man, another one. Yep. Uh-huh. Hold on, let me make sure I'm good. Yeah, another one, man. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you guys, like I said, I like her stuff. She's spitting facts, man. So this one, honestly, I saved so many I don't even know anymore. But let's just kind of go with it. Hey, what's up, dude? I hope you're doing good. Hello, 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 everybody coming in. Hello, hello, hello.
I don't know what Weeb needs to hear.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do the same thing, guys. We're just gonna sit. We're gonna watch the entire thing, and then we're gonna hop back over and then comment on it.
I don't know what Weeb needs to hear this, but moving to Japan or spending like extended periods of time there is not an escape from Western capitalism or your problems. I'm seeing a lot of people online who want to move to Japan or want to travel there often who think that once they're there, all of their problems will magically disappear. And one thing that I really
Yeah,
want you guys
so
to
true.
know is that you cannot escape yourself. You bring yourself everywhere you go.
Facts.
And while traveling can help you discover more about yourself, Japan, or any country for that matter, is not going to be your magical escape land. I'm saying this because I feel like a lot of people go to Japan with unrealistic
Yep,
expectations
they
and with
do.
this weird, like, anime protagonist mindset. And a lot of times they don't really realize that they're being rude, or I guess just don't care. I also feel like what kind of causes this is a lot of people view Japanese people as like NPCs for their side quests rather than like real
Don't. Oh
autonomous
man.
people. Like how the Gion district in Kyoto recently had to like restrict which streets foreigners were allowed to be
Yep.
on
Mm-hmm.
because geishas were literally like being stalked and harassed and people were grabbing at their kimonos and
We did a
taking
video on
photos
that.
of them like without permission, obviously. People were even asking like, oh, can I take a photo of you? And then they were like, no. And then they were trying to sneak one anyways. Like, it's just so disrespectful and weird. And when you do that and you go over there, you kind of end up ruining it for all of us because Japan is one of those countries that's not afraid to be like, okay, fuck this. You can't be here anymore.
Yeah.
But also, US imperialism, Western imperialism, capitalism, those things follow you wherever you go. And like again, I want to live abroad, I want to move abroad, I love traveling to Japan. There's nothing wrong with those things, but I think that you have to set yourself up with realistic expectations because otherwise you're going to end up building resentment
Lots of resentment, by the way.
towards the country that you once wanted to move to so bad, right? I'm using Japan as an example because that's somewhere that I've been a few times and somewhere that my followers have expressed really wanting to travel to. It's also strange because we have this conversation about Japan in particular quite often, and I feel like
Often.
we've been
Yeah.
rehashing this conversation ever
It's
since
so
the Logan
dumb.
Paul incident of like, what
Let
was
me
that,
just
2018?
let me
But
just
yeah,
have her
manage your
finish.
expectations, otherwise it's gonna ruin everything for you, honestly. And I don't even know what to like say to the people that don't view Japanese people as people because like there's a lot to unpack there, but like just be fucking respectful and be fucking normal. Like I don't think it's that hard.
Bro, guys, I can just go off forever on this topic. Oh man, I said it in the last one for those of you who just came in. Hello everybody. It is utterly just sad the state that things are in right now. It is not great at all. And just the way people treat others, like, bro, the main character syndrome is really really bad. So let's just watch it through and kind of comment as she talks.
I don't know what Weeb needs to hear this, but moving to Japan or spending like extended periods of time there is not an escape from Western capitalism or your problems.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with trying to escape capitalism, but I do think it's true that people use it as an escape from their problems. Bro, if you're a loser at home, you're a loser in Japan too. Actually, you might be more of a loser in Japan because Japanese people tend to mind their business and don't talk to a lot of people. It's just so crazy to me. Like, it's so crazy to me, man. And I think the best way to say this is that a lot of people treat Japan like it's an amusement park. And again, I'm pretty sure it was Raina Scully that said this, and I'm just gonna keep saying it. People really do treat Japan like it's a freaking amusement park, and it's really sad. It doesn't make sense to me. Um, they're just NPCs to them. They can just walk into another country, act how they want, and then they're confused when they get like banned or something. They're so confused when like they get in trouble with the police. I don't know. I do think when you have something as crazy as like hyper individuality, which is essentially the entirety of the Western world, go to something more of a group mentality, which is Japan, it's gonna clash extremely hard. Like it's gonna clash really hard, and it's not gonna be very very good. Put the yeah, hold on. I'll copy the link and then post it in here so you guys can watch it. But I think too many people. Not only is Japan escapism, but it's escapism on this delusional level to where it's literally like, bro, you are anime. Like anime isn't a hobby of yours that you do in your off time. It is like your embodiment. If I walked into your room and I saw nothing but anime lolly figures everywhere and they're all like half naked in bikinis and stuff, I'm gonna sit here and be like, yeah, man, I know it's been a while for you, huh? You've not gotten laid. I can tell the writing's on the wall, dude. It does suck, right? Um, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's different if you're a content creator doing that or something. I don't know. I do think there's this kind of really good balance that you can have. Like I have friends that live in Japan. One of my buddies now, he lives in Sapporo. He just moved there and he was in the army over here in El Paso, Texas. And he's in Japan now. He's happy, but he's not like delusional. He's not like, yeah, man, I'm gonna marry a Japanese wife and then we're gonna like watch anime. It's like, no, bro. Like you still got to make money somehow. You got to pay the bills. Like you got stuff you got to do, bro. You ain't just gonna be sitting there watching anime all day. Like let's just be real, man.
I'm seeing a lot of people online who want to move to Japan or want to travel there often, who think that once they're there, all of their problems will magically disappear.
And that's the problem. They're thinking that just leaving somewhere is just gonna get fixed, and it's not true. It's really really not. I think to some degree, the new scenery can have you maybe think of things differently and all this other stuff, but it's not going to inherently solve your problems. You know what I mean? That's just not how that works entirely. Essentially, running away, just period, isn't going to solve your problems, man.
And one thing that I really want you guys to know is that you cannot escape yourself. You bring yourself everywhere you go.
Yeah, and this is what I said earlier, right? If you're a loser in one place, you're still a loser in another one, irrespective of what happens. You know what I mean?
And while traveling can help you discover more about yourself,
which is what I said about the greenery or whatever. Literally, just changing your viewpoint on things by traveling around. You can discover more.
Japan, or any country for that matter, is not going to be your magical escape land.
And that's with anything. This even goes for like video games, music, anime, all this stuff. It's not gonna help, dude. And I think what's going on is a lot of people they're looking at Japan and the anime community and all these things, and they're seeing people do this to a delusional point to where it's like, bro, I don't even, either they don't want to associate with it or they know people and then they essentially just think they're weird. Essentially, it changes the relationship of people that they know that are into it, is what I'm saying. Another thing is that it can deter people who are currently in it, see it, and then they just leave, right? They'll just straight up leave, or it'll just deter new people who kind of just scratch the surface of it and kind of see all of this stuff, and they're like, I don't want to be here for this, because there's a lot of cases for those too, right? So trying to think that Japan is this unicorn that's just going to solve your problems, bro, grow the fuck up. Holy shit. God damn. I've been seeing this for over a decade, and it surprises me even to this day. And I just think that's just what happens, right? They get so involved into it. Remember, bro, I keep saying it, right? Like the dude, like he is anime. My guy, where is it? He is anime. Like he is the embodiment of anime. Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. This dude, he is anime. He is the embodiment. So yeah, I think you really need to take a step back and look at the balance that you're having with all of it. Again, it's not just anime. This is gaming. If you're really into the culture, check that too. Just make sure there's a really big balance, you know what I mean, between it all.
I'm saying this
Just making sure I'm good.
because I feel like a lot of people go to Japan with unrealistic expectations and with this weird like anime protagonist mind.
It's a sickness. Like they it just it goes into their brain and doesn't leave, man. It goes straight. Here's another one. Here's another one. Bro, go straight. Look at this. Go straight into your brain and don't and then it don't look at this. When you POV, you work at a movie theater, like it bro, bro, it is yep. Uh-huh. It be like that sometimes, man. It just be like that.
Set. And a lot of times they don't really realize that they're being rude, or I guess just don't care. I also feel like what
Yeah, like what's a great example? Hold on, give me a sec. What's a great example? I want to say like assuming all Japanese girls are like super submissive and tiny, you know what I mean? And they're like super shy, like their season 1 Naruto, Hinata can't talk. They just and then they get to Japan and they find out that like a good amount of Japanese girls are just pretty normal, like genuinely pretty normal. Some are even trolls, really good at trolling. And then they'll be like, I didn't see any good Japanese girls that I liked. And it's just like, bro, like, I'm not sure what the hell you watch or whatever, but like Japanese girls are not these. It's just, it's always been so crazy to me. It's always been just the most craziest and insane thing ever, man. That's just not how it is, period.
kind of causes this is a lot of people view Japanese people as like NPCs for their side quests.
Yeah, right. Like it's like I have to go to Japan and speak to this dude and go into the cavern. And when I get into the cavern, I have to make sure it's just like, can you like it's like it's like yeah chat yeah you're right it's like a chunibyo, there you go, chunibyo, which means delusional. Chunibyo, like those people who go around literally Naruto running and doing hand signs and stuff. That's called chunibyo. And it's kind of funny because that's what you end up looking like when you do stuff like that. I want me like a really good submissive traditional Japanese girl. And it's like, bro, who's gonna tell him? Who's gonna tell mans? Yo, like who's who's gonna tell him?
Rather than like real autonomous people, like how the Gion district in Kyoto recently had to like.
To be fair, these were foreigners being super extra though. They were being like super extra. They were like writing on temples, sacred temples that are like over 400 years old and crazy stuff like that. Like that's like straight disrespect, right? That's just, man, that's on a whole other level. And I'm gonna say what I said in my video about Chris, because Chris and Chris abroad said the same thing. No, I'm sorry, abroad in Japan, but Chris from abroad in Japan. Goddamn. Yeah, I'm gonna say the exact same thing. Dude, it's just a shit show. If you have one person like the dumbass Paul brothers go to Japan and act stupid, people will see that. I don't think people realize how much, at least in my opinion, how much of a sickness that clout is. People don't give two fucks what kind of clout they get, whether it's good or bad. To them, clout is clout. My Instagram points went up irrespective of the reason why. I don't care that everybody hates me. All I care is, yeah, man, I have 5,000 people watching. You know what I mean? And it's very disgusting, and it's very stupid. But the problem is people put them on a pedestal, right? And they get all this stuff from it too, right? And then they fake apologize and then wonder why nobody invites them to the parties. Nobody wants to have them around and all this other stuff too, right? This is where we are. Because clout, the mind virus, is taking over, and it's making people do completely just forget humans, right? It doesn't even matter about just Japan, right? It's just overall people don't care about humans, because the clout mind virus, they just see the number and they're just like bro, they see that number go up and their brain just farts. They just have like a brain fart and don't care. Man.
Restrict which streets foreigners were allowed to be on,
Yes.
because geishas were literally like being stalked and harassed, and people were
And just because I'm seeing some people say, yeah, not everyone is doing it for clout. Obviously, some people are just fucking idiots, and their parents probably never told them no, or never like beat the shit out of them. Like listen, I'm black, and I grew up in Compton, right? Like my parents would beat the shit out of me if I even looked at somebody disrespectfully. And guess what? I don't do that now because I don't want my ass beat. Right? I actually fear consequences, but the problem is a lot of people don't care about those consequences, or the consequences are so small they don't care, right? They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, man, like it happened. Right? And this is what happens when consequences just aren't enough, which a lot of people are starting to say. And as she said earlier, Japan is that country that will be like, fuck all of you, bye. Get the fuck away from me. Bro, Japan's done it. Japan's done it. And if you don't think they'll do it again, you are wild. You're wild, bro. Other people are ruining it for you, and all of us collectively need to call them out on it.
grabbing at their kimonos and
Yep.
taking photos of them, like without permission, obviously. People were even asking, like, oh, can I take a photo of you? And then they were like, no. And then they were trying to sneak one anyways. Like, it's just so disrespectful and weird.
Again, it's also just different cultures, because it's not all Western. My boss went to China, and he was like, this was some of the most rudest people I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he was Japanese, but he was telling me about a lot of the stuff that was happening. It was people cutting in lines. People would just push you for no reason. Just a bunch of stuff. Now, I've never been inside China like that. I just had an overlay in China, but I've never actually walked around and experienced it like he did. So I don't know if it's true or false, but I have military friends who've just done small stuff there. In terms of, I guess just like layovers whenever they're doing their own thing, outside of like when they got retired. Not the same one that I said in the last video, somebody else, but it's crazy. I've had so many friends say the exact same thing. Some people who've actually been in there, even if it was just for a little while, and it's just, dude, I've personally not heard many good things, but I don't know. I would want to go myself and figure that out. But people are disrespectful everywhere. I think it just depends on the country. I can totally just see Americans just doing whatever the hell they want and then just shrugging it off like, oh yeah, Omega Law, Keg W, you know, happy champ hands.
And when you do that and you go over there, you kind of end up ruining it for all of us, because Japan is one of those countries that's not afraid to be like, okay, fuck this, you can't be here anymore.
Bro, facts. Japan in a heartbeat will do it.
But also US imperialism, Western imperialism, capitalism, those things.
I don't think it's an imperial. I think it's more of just a different culture and a thought process. I wouldn't call it imperialism, because imperialism is implying that we're going there to specifically take over, specifically when it's more so just, you know, idiots acting dumb and then leaving, which is a little different. I mean, unless you want to classify that, sure, but when I hear imperialism, I'm thinking, no, we are coming to your place, and what we're going to effectively do is try to change your entire country. But Japan isn't a place, is not, I would say Asia in general, they don't play that really. Asia, they don't really play that. Not like that, no. So I don't know if I fully agree, because it's just, you know, a couple of bad actors.
Follow you wherever you go. And like again, I want to live abroad. I want to move abroad.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I didn't realize this until recently. Look at this. Actually, this is I don't know if y'all gonna laugh or be mad. If you want to take out the trash in Japan, look at this. Hold on, let me move. Hold on, let me move. If you want to take out the trash in Japan, if you want to take out the trash, bro, look at this. You want to memorize this? Do you want to memorize this? Just to take out the trash. Just the trash. I'm not even joking. How to sort and dispose of resources properly. If I need a flip book, a picture book of how to take out the, I'm good, bro. Y'all can have that. Yup, you can keep that, bro. I don't want it. And that's just the trash. That's not even like other stuff. I always said it. Me personally, I don't think I would ever move to Japan and stay there. At most it would be like a visit for like a month or something, and then I'm out. Me personally, I don't think I can live there. I don't know how other people do it. Again, this is just one thing. There's like so many others. Speaking of trash as well, Nobita made a video about trash, and I actually called BS on that, because in the same video, the guy was like, we've been having trash problems since the 90s, but then Nobita is going to turn around, make a video and be like, the foreigners are making a mess. And it's like, bro, you've been having these problems since the 90s. What are you talking about? Like, like you just had a guy in your video literally tell you that it's not the foreigners. You guys have been having this. Oh, dude, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But it's crazy to me because ultimately, overall abroad, sure. Not Japan, guys. Yeah, no, me, no, not Japan. Abroad overall. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, but I wouldn't pick Japan. 100%, I wouldn't pick Japan. I would not pick Japan. I would pick somewhere else. Like where? I don't know. Germany looks cool. I wouldn't mind living there. Philippines looks fun. The Netherlands, Poland looks fun. New Zealand looks fun too. Until New Zealand can be boring, but nature is just amazing though. So those are places that I would rather go than Japan.
Of traveling to Japan. There's nothing wrong with those things, but I think that you have to set yourself
there's nothing wrong
up with realistic expectations, because otherwise you're going to end up building resentment towards the country that you once wanted to move to so bad, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like I said earlier, you have this super picture perfect view of that country, right? Because anime, man, yeah, or like geishas. I love geishas so much. And then you get there, you see like one geisha like every 5 months, right? Like they're not just walking around. This isn't like the Edo period or anything crazy like that, bro. And then you're like, where's the geishas? I love It's like, oh, I can't with these people, dude. They are so cringe, and they're part of like the problem too. These are the people that are part of the problem. And that's what she means by realistic expectations, right? Like you move to Japan, you might not see a lot of anime, maybe. Like if you go in the middle of nowhere and like, I don't know, like Akita or something. Well, Akita isn't like nowhere. That's not like the middle of nowhere. If you go somewhere and you're not in like Tokyo or Osaka, maybe Okinawa, depending, I guess. But and you're like really into anime, and then you get plopped in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, I didn't like Japan, man. It was just like, ugh. And when you start to dwindle down your reasons, and you're like, I didn't get to see anime. I wasn't able to like buy a bunch of like, it's just like, okay, dude, like you went there thinking one thing and you got the complete opposite. And that's just because you weren't realistic with it. So you know what? Yeah, get fucked, be weird, and just stop putting that on other people, dude. It's not great. It's not
I'm
great.
using
Stop
Japan
it.
as an example because that's somewhere that I've been a few times and somewhere
Same.
that my followers have expressed really wanting to travel to. It's also strange because we have this conversation about Japan in particular quite often, and I feel like we've
I think it's annoying how often, and I really wish I could put it into words, but I think the best way to say this so bluntly is that Japan, for some reason, just brings out the fucking weirdos. And I think it brings out the weirdos because the way Japan kind of promotes itself, it promotes itself as like very passive and very shy and like standoffish a little bit. And that just brings a lot of the people who tend to use that in order to gain something. It doesn't matter what it is. And oh, who was it that said this? Oh my god, I watched. Who was it? It was somebody that was saying it in a YouTube video. But the reason why as well is just like it's Japan does such a good job at promoting escapism as well, right? Through anime, video games, depending, you can use the culture just as a whole as escapism as well. I'm gonna marry a traditional Japanese wife. Like you can, they do such a good job at promoting that, but now they're starting to kind of see like the downsides of that in its own way. It's a little harsh to say no, it's not, because you haven't been dealing with this for over a decade like I have, and other people as well, dude, and other people. Yeah. I have, oh, I might do a whole stream where I just go through story after story after, oh God, dude. Story after story, both Japanese people and foreigners. Story after story. Dude, don't get me, man. It's a lot. But I know it's maybe a little messed up, but I can care less because how else am I supposed to say it, right? Because you don't get this with Korea, really. You don't, you obviously you get bad actors no matter what, but it's not to this extent, right? Like I said this with her last reaction. I know a lot of you just came in, but I said this with the last reaction of hers. I said that I feel like whenever I bring up Japan, I have to like bring out my credentials. Like I have to bring out the fact that I did a lot of stuff with Japanese people and actually worked with them and studied Japanese for over a decade and actually speak it. I've dated Japanese girls. I've been there. I feel like in order to make people not see me as a weirdo, right? Because I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm really into Japanese stuff because, you know, I've been doing it since I was like 14. And they'll be like, oh, so you're just like into anime and like action figures? And I'm just like, bro, no, this is like what I do. This is what I do, right? You know what I mean? And then like I said, at that point I feel like I have to bring out my credentials for absolutely no reason. You don't get that with Korea, really. I know a lot of people who do music stuff in Los Angeles for Koreans, and they don't have to ever really go through that. You don't do this with like European. It's literally a Japanese specific thing. Whenever you say Japan, people will look at you different because the perception of that weeaboo who holds his fucking body pillow in the middle of the street, right? And whenever you think of anime, like whenever you say Japan, this is what they're thinking of right here. And this is why more and more people, they either separate completely from the community or they just be like, I'm good, I'm leaving, I don't want no part of this, I am outro. That's true. Yeah, it is true because it's like, what else are they supposed to do if you're sitting here doing that, right? What do you think the cause is? I think it's how Japan promotes itself as a country. Because anime makes so much money. And so as she said in her last video, they anime, video games, all of that, it got popular. And then Japan was like, hey, yo, wait, hold up. This is making money. And so Japan just ran with it.
Been rehashing this conversation ever since the Logan Paul incident of like, what was that, 2018? But yeah, manage your expectations. Otherwise, it's going to ruin everything for you, honestly. And I don't even know what to like say to the people that don't view Japanese people as people because like.
Okay, I'm just going to give one great example. And again, this is one of like a bajillion. I was in Japan and we were at a shrine. I think we were at a I'm so sorry. I had it. It begins with the letter A. Azusa? Azusa? Asakusa. I'm a dumbass. The Asakusa temple. Yeah. Yeah. We were at the Asakusa temple. And you know, we walk up the super long stairs. We're going was it Asakusa or was it the I'm pretty sure it was the Asakusa one. I'm not seeing pictures of the I'm on my other screen, chat. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was the Asakusa. Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna second guess myself no more. Yeah, it was the Asakusa. We were at the Asakusa temple, and there was these group of kids, white kids. I don't know. I'm sorry, but yeah, it was just a group of white kids. One of them looked like a frat boy, I guess. You know, tall white guy, stuff like that. He looked maybe he was like 19 or something in college, and his parents took them all out on a trip or something. And for those who don't know, when you're in the Asakusa temple, they have these overhead speakers because the Asakusa temple is outside. It's not an inside temple. It's all outside. And so they have these really long poles that come out the ground playing and like blaring instructions. Don't do this, don't do this, be respectful, all this stuff. And so they did it in every single language. So they did it in Chinese, they did it in Korean, they did it in German and all these other languages, right? I wish I was being sarcastic. The kid, or at least again, I'm just calling him a kid because this is some stupid shit a fucking kid would say. He was like, why are you speaking Korean? Isn't this Japan? Do you hear the overhead? And I remember, bro, I just sat there and I just stared at him for so, like, his face is burned into my fucking head. And I was sitting here like, yeah, you probably like beat off to Honey Mew Mew magical girl shit. And he was so loud, by the way. Like it was like so fucking loud. Like holy fuck, dude. And then we go up the stairs, we get to the temple, we're looking at we're doing, you know, the whole prayer thing, we wash our hands. And as we're coming out, there's this really old white lady and she is pissed. Bro, she is mad. She's like, I'm sick of all these fucking people coming to Japan, disrespecting. Bro, she was so, I wish I recorded it. Oh my God, I wish I recorded it. She was so mad and she cussed out those kids because they did something. I wasn't there. Obviously, I just went down the stairs. I threw the coin in the thing. I come down the stairs and I just see her screaming. And I see all the kids like that group of kids on the side giggling and like walking off. And she was just screaming. And I was just sitting here like, bro, this is sadly what happens, man. Seriously. This is what happens. You get idiots like this, man. You get idiots like this, and I think the worst, most depressing part is that it's all ages. Because again, that's like again, I'm assuming because he looked 18, 19 and stuff like that. But dude, I have stories about like 40-year-olds saying stupid shit. I got old Japanese women saying dumb stuff, old Japanese men, old boy and old bostons, and just everything, every age group. I've heard some of the wildest shit. And it's just sad because again, I don't see this in other cultures as much as I see it with Japan. I do know Korean, it just depends. I do also know in China it's really bad. They don't like foreigners as well as much. But it's sad, man. But it's a thing. Sadly, this is the thing you have to deal with, and it's not fun. Again, that's just one story. I have so many more.
There's a lot to unpack there, but like, just be fucking respectful and be fucking normal. Like, I don't think it's that hard. I don't know what.
Apparently, it is hard because again, they can record it and then put it somewhere, and then again, the only thing they see is the views. And I also think part of the problem is the algorithm is indiscriminate, so it doesn't care if you're getting disliked to death. It's still gonna push you out. And this was proven with the Logan Paul thing, and this was also proven with a bunch of other stuff. Look at the dumbass that just got out of Japan, and I mean the dumbass who got arrested in Japan, right? Mr. Somali. I think it's bad that algorithms are pushing indiscriminately, whether it's good or bad attention. The algorithm doesn't care. I think that's a huge problem. I think that's partially why this is happening, because again, people see the number, it goes up, and they're just like, what do you think the fix is? I think people need to just get in touch with reality. Real life sucks, but nobody fucking cares about your problems, bro. Especially if you're using something else. If you're using something else as an escapism, and then it impedes on other people because of your actions, you're the problem. You're the problem. That's your problem. But part of the problem is when you get so deep, you end up isolating yourself, and then nobody talks to you, so you just end up going deeper, right? And so it's just one of those things where it's like, all I can say is, for me, I'm just so grateful that I was self-aware. I had adults near me. I had adults who cared. And I'm not just saying parents, I mean like adults who were like, yeah, hey man, like, yeah, anime is great, but we don't want to see you turn into, like, I've had adults, both foreign and Japanese, just be so straightforward and just be like, hey, we've seen this, we don't want to see you like that. You can like anime and still be normal. One of the best examples that I always bring up is like a lot of people who are like streamers and stuff that I talk to who aren't even big streamers. And they're like, yeah, man, I was streaming. So I feel like crap. I need to work out and stuff. And I'm like, bro, Tyler 1 works out and all he does is play League all day. Like, what's your excuse? Like, what's your real excuse? And I think that's kind of the mindset that needs to be taken up. Like, if you give yours, what is it called? Extreme accountability. There you go. Extreme accountability. But you have to want to better yourself. I think extreme accountability only works if you genuinely want better for yourself. And if you just let yourself go down that rabbit hole, it's not going to be great. It's just not going to end well. And you know what? It just chat, look at this. Oh man, chat, look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna move. Oh my god, I'm gonna move. Look at this. Oh my god. This is gold. This is why you should wear a condom. Do you want your child to end up like this? Oh man. But yeah, guys, good talk. We're gonna watch probably 1 or 2 more. Yeah, man, good talk. Good talk. Yeah, I posted the link. I'll post it again.